Eat this, drink that, go.
Remember the wait times at the HCA East Florida Hospital emergency rooms average in the single digits, less than 10 minutes. Just go to hcaeastflorida.com to list all their wait times for all their emergency rooms there. And they update them every 30 minutes because emergencies don't wait for appointments. All right, we're so pleased to be joined back here at History Miami Museum by the Executive Director, Jorge Zamanillo, and by Bruce Orosz, the Chairman of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. Yeah, gentlemen, we've got two of the biggest events really in the world, arguably, coming here real soon. We've got the Super Bowl, which this wonderful exhibit is part of, and we've got Art Basel, too. First, let's talk about this museum and how it relates to both of those events. You're doing some cool things with Art Basel, too, aren't you?
We are, yeah. I'll start with Art Basel. For the past 3 years, we've had the Miami Street Photography Festival, which is a major international competition and festival. It takes place right here at HistoryMiami Museum. It's been around for about 8 years now in Miami, and we decided to bring it over to our museum about 4 years ago. And over 30 countries are represented from across the world. People submit their entries for the best photos, street photographies. And,
that is so cool.
Yeah, and it's an amazing turnout. And then you have everybody in the community. You got a couple thousand people that are photo enthusiasts come out and share their work. We have exhibits, workshops, lectures, all related to photography, all during Art Week in Miami.
You know, there's so many great things. Now, Art Basel is, when, Bruce, December 3 through 8?
Yes.
And how many people do we expect, do they estimate, come from around the world to South Florida?
They estimate we get an attendance of about 500,000 people.
Imagine that influx into our community. And that's in December. And we got the Super Bowl coming later on. And this is really such a great place to come. History Miami Museum. I don't think our residents spend enough time here because this is one of the coolest things I've been to in a long time. This Gridiron Glory is great.
It's incredible. What an installation.
And we're going to move around to some other locations.
We'll show you some
later
of
in
that
the
as the show goes.
So many neat things here.
Talk to me about Art Basel, Bruce. The Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau is such a large part of it. There are events now, not just in the Wynwood area, but it's all over South Florida.
Yeah, you know, it's really it's been an amazing, revolutionary opportunity for this city, dating back 18 years now. It's incredible. 2002 was the kickoff, and it's it engages every aspect of our community, from gourmet, gastronomy, there's lifestyle, there's all kinds of retailers that show their wares, but there's also, in practically every hotel imaginable in this community, in Dade, there are art-related programming going on. It's phenomenal.
How long will the photography element be here at the museum?
Well, the festival will be here during the same days, the 5th through the 8th. And then we keep up the photography exhibits at least through January.
So people can come and enjoy that as well.
Definitely.
And this building, there are actually 2 buildings for History Miami Museum, and there's a north and there's a south. So you can see this exhibit. You know, if you're into photography and maybe your wife is into football, this is the perfect place to go, right?
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
You can be right in the middle afterwards, go to lunch at the place downtown. Yeah, what's next? I mean, we continue to grow, Bruce, and I'm just wondering how in the world Miami continues to expand our draw around the world. I know the Convention and Visitors Bureau, that's their goal, to bring more people to South Florida. You've accomplished that. Is there anything on the horizon that we're not aware of yet?
Well, you know, we have so many great assets. We're the world's #1 cruise. We're the cruise capital of the world.
Right.
That continues to grow, and you can see it in the port where all the big cruise companies are building with private dollars $1 billion of new terminals. Private money.
Wow.
It's incredible. And so that's one element. The museums continue to grow in terms of numbers. The attractions are, you know, we're not just a beach community. We're a town of attractions now.
Right. And this museum, I think, is a great example of it. Not only this museum, but so many others. We talked to Rodney earlier. You know, the last Super Bowl we had here was 2010. Well, at that time, there wasn't the Perez Art Museum. There wasn't a lot of things that we now have in South Florida in just a 10-year period.
Yep.
And now the Super Bowl comes to the town. How many folks do you estimate will come here to see this? Because this is tied directly to that game.
It is. When we decided to bring it to South Florida, we knew that every city that had hosted the Super Bowl in the past 10 years had received this exhibit. and no one was stepping up to do that in Miami. We said, how can we pass on this opportunity? How can we not offer our community the same opportunities that they had in other cities?
Great.
So we said, let's bring it on, and we extended throughout the whole football season and beyond the Super Bowl for a week. There's really no excuse why you can't come down here and see it, right? So we're expecting thousands of people to come in and see this exhibit all the way through February. And we really think that January is going to be the height of the market when people are going to be in town. Like Ronnie said earlier, millions of people are going to be in
They're going
South
to be
Florida.
walking the streets all in downtown.
All the way from Bayfront Park, from the Super Bowl Village, all the way to here. It's going to be an incredible opportunity.
It will. By the way, the museum is open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and Sunday, noon to 5. And you can follow them on Facebook at History Miami Museum. History Miami 360. That's what it is. History Miami 360. You take such great pride. I know we all do. We've lived here, all four of us, for a long time in South Florida, in Miami. And whether it's our home or adopted home, we take great pride in these kind of events and this kind of a museum, and Art Basel, and being the spotlight for the art community and the football community, the sports community, over a 2-month period. Talk to a little bit about what Miami means to you individually. George, start with you.
Well, Miami's real personal. I was born in New York, but I came here in the 70s, early 70s. And I grew up blocks from the Orange Bowl. So I've always had a tight connection to football and the Orange Bowl and those days
And
with
you've
Don
got
Shula.
some Orange Bowl seats.
We do.
Here,
we collected them. I personally went out there when they're sadly knocking them down and made sure we got something. But so I grew up blocks from there, and the Goodyear blimp was flying over my home all the time, our apartment building, and I would walk over to the stadium and go easily get in and sit in the metal stands at the end zone after they removed the dolphin.
No block.
No, and it was, so I got to see all these games growing up, and it was such a great personal connection to not only to our sports history, but growing up in Little Havana and these different neighborhoods. And Miami was being transformed in the 70s and 80s into the major metropolitan city that it is today, and I got to experience that. So I have a very tight connection.
Right, and this museum is part of that growth too. I think in so many ways. So is Art Basel. You're a New Yorker as well.
I am too. Yep, and I think the quality of life here has a lot to be spoken for. I mean, this is a great place to live. But speaking of the Orange Bowl, it's coming here again, December 30th.
Right.
Speaking of football, every year we have this incredible college extravaganza here, which is always a great show. And it draws in the 100 years of the NFL. I think the Orange Bowl is pushing 77 or 78 years now. Wow.
And you also have the championship or semifinal here every few years as well.
Yeah, we get the final here in 2021.
Great.
Wow.
It's just incredible the things that are coming to South
It's
Florida.
robust. We are a world-class destination, and everybody wants to have a
little piece of Miami.
taste of Miami.
Without question. And they're going to get a little bit of it with two great events. Art Basel, of course, December 3 through 8. And of course, you can enjoy that street art photography here at History Miami Museum, the 5th through the 8th. Come down and see it.
And we'll post more information about it.
Yes, we will. We'll do much of that. And of course, then you've got the Super Bowl, which is the first Sunday in February. And this museum, the Gridiron Glory, will be here until the 9th of February. So you got plenty of time. But if you've got people coming to town, not everybody can go to the Super Bowl. But you come and experience an exhibit like this at History Miami Museum and really get a feel for what the game is. Over there, there's the bus, Jerome Bettis, from the waist down, and his actual size.
The size of his legs.
And you get
There's
the
the
feel.
size of the quarterback's hands on the football.
Troy Aikman and
Which
Jim
are
Kelly
so-
and Warren Moon. And you get the real feel of what how these giants that walk among us and these crazy people who decide to play this stupid sport really got banged up. There are leather helmets here from the 1920s.
Which I think Jimmy's
sport.
is around here somewhere.
Yeah, we used to wear that, and you gave it to the guy who was carrying the football. And if you wanted to have a fake, a misdirection, you gave it to a different guy, and that's the way it worked back then.
Is that your arm over there, Jimmy?
There's a bicep from a player, I'm
years
not
ago.
sure which one, a 20-inch bicep. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
my goodness.
But
For kids too, bring your kids here, and
Plenty of it
any
on.
'cause
child
it's
that
fun.
loves football,
Yeah.
this is fun.
It's a fun way to do it.
This
And
is
also, Art Basel is a great way and look, if you're not going to go to the high-end events, you don't have to. It's now everywhere. And you can find artwork that you might want to get that child involved with to let them know what this is all about. I have a daughter who's interested in
right.
art,
You've got
and
to
she
get-
did something last year with it, and it still sparks that enthusiasm.
Right.
This for the game of football and for artwork as well. We're fortunate to be living in South Florida. George, thank you so much. Congratulations on this. This is spectacular.
Yes, thank you
you.
so
Oh, and by the
very
way,
much.
you know what?
Thank you,
The other
George,
thing that
thank you.
Bruce does so well, he makes wine.
He makes
and it's
wine.
kind of my favorite
right.
Cabernet, 2480. There's also a Chardonnay,
Yep.
which is
Here's the
absolutely
Chardonnay.
spectacular. Now, we can't drink in here, but
Yeah, they
we'll
don't allow
find
us
a
to
quiet
do it.
place somewhere in Miami.
Or
we might be
this
able to sip a
bottle
glass
would
of
definitely be open.
We'll come back. We're going to give you a little tour of this wonderful exhibit at History Miami Museum right after this on Eat This, Drink That, Go.
Eat this, drink that, go.